dealership has spent the last 15 years engineering a system where you literally believe you can't change your own oil. And over the lifetime of one car, that belief costs you $4,200. That number isn't an estimate. It's the actual math. $1,900 in oil change markup over a single new car warranty period. Another $1,000 buried in a contract you signed in 11 seconds at the finance manager's desk. A third $1,000 in catastrophic damage from a fluid the manufacturer labeled lifetime specifically so they wouldn't have to recommend changing it. And a final $300 the dealer charges you on the day you return the lease because you couldn't prove you'd done the work. And the worst part isn't the money. There's a 50-year-old federal law that makes every dollar of this their problem to defend, not yours to pay. You've probably never heard its name. That's not your fault. That's the design. By the end of this, you'll know the law. You'll know the 4 layers of the scam, and you'll have the exact 4-step documentation protocol a woman in Ontario used to win a $3,400 warranty claim her dealer tried to deny. Let's go through it. But before the law, you need to understand why this feels true. Why every modern car owner I talk to swears it's impossible to do their own oil change. Because that feeling isn't an accident, it's engineered. Quick disclaimer before we start, the tips and guides in this video are for educational purposes only. Every vehicle is different, so please use this information at your own risk. We are not responsible for any damage or injury that may occur. When in doubt, always consult a professional mechanic. Mike showed up at my shop last month with a 2021 F-150 and a question I get every week from guys who used to wrench on their own cars. He stood next to the truck with his arms crossed. Is it even possible to change my own oil anymore? He'd looked under the truck. He saw an underbody pan held by what looked like 15 plastic fasteners. He saw a filter buried somewhere behind that pan. He saw a dashboard menu he couldn't navigate to reset the oil life monitor, and he walked away. He's been paying his dealer $130 every visit for 3 years. Mike isn't wrong about what he saw. The barriers are real. They're also engineered. Each one is what the dealer is counting on you not knowing. Barrier 1, the underbody pan. Modern cars from 2018 forward have an aerodynamic shield covering the bottom of the engine, held by anywhere from 8 to 20 plastic fasteners. Looks intimidating. Here's what it actually requires. A $15 Torx bit kit from any auto parts store. 8 extra minutes of work. That's the barrier. That's the entire barrier. Barrier 2, the cartridge filter. Looks weird. Sits on top of the engine on some models. BMW, Volvo, certain GM trucks. Most drivers see it and assume it requires dealer tools. Here's the contrast. The dealer technician uses a $12 socket cap wrench. You can buy the same wrench at AutoZone. Top-mounted cartridge filters are actually easier to change than the traditional spin-on filter buried under the engine. The dealer counts on it looking complicated. It isn't. Barrier 3, the electronic oil life monitor. Most modern cars track oil interval through an algorithm, not pure mileage. After an oil change, the dashboard needs a reset. The dealer makes this sound like it requires factory diagnostic equipment. Reality? Most reset procedures are a 90-second sequence printed in your owner's manual. Hold the trip reset button for 10 seconds while turning the key. Done. For European brands with sealed systems, a generic OBD scanner runs $25 on Amazon. I want to be honest with you about something here. Some European vehicles, BMW, Audi, certain Mercedes from 2015 forward, genuinely need a brand-specific OBD scanner to fully reset the service interval. That tool costs $50 to $200, which is still less than 2 dealer oil changes. But it's a real cost. Know about it before you start. Barrier 4, oil change intervals. The every 3,000 miles rule still floating around in your head? That rule died in the 1990s. Modern cars with synthetic oil are spec'd at 7,500 to 10,000 miles between changes. Some go longer. This barrier actually helps you. Fewer changes per year means your one-time tool investment pays off faster than ever. Now, do the math the dealer doesn't want you to do. Their factory-trained technician earns $22 an hour. They charge you $150. The oil costs them $18. The filter costs them $4. You do the math on where the other $108 went. These barriers are real, engineered, but real. But here's what nobody tells you. The barriers aren't the scam. The barriers are just the moat around the actual scam. And the moat is protected by something most car owners have never heard of. A federal law that's been on the books since 1975. A law your dealer has been hoping you never look up. The law is called the Magnuson-Moss Warranty Act. It was signed in 1975. And if you've never heard of it, that's not your fault. That's the design. 50 years this law has existed. To put that in perspective, the Vietnam War ended that year. Gas was 57 cents a gallon. This law has been federal protection for car owners longer than most car owners have been alive. And the average new car owner in 2026 still believes their dealer can void their warranty for doing what their grandfather did in his driveway every Saturday. I want to show you what the law actually says. The Magnuson-Moss Warranty Act prohibits manufacturers from tying warranty service to specific brands of parts or to dealer-only repair networks. Translated into plain English, your dealer cannot void your warranty just because you changed your own oil. They cannot void it because you used a Walmart filter instead of an OEM filter. They cannot void it because you took the car to Jiffy Lube instead of their service bay. What they can do is deny a specific claim, but only if they can prove your specific action caused the specific failure. That's the part the service department doesn't want you to know. The burden of proof is on them, not on you. Think about what that means. If your engine fails at 47,000 miles and you've been doing your own oil changes, the dealer can't deny your warranty claim by saying you changed your own oil. They have to prove that your oil change caused the engine failure. They have to tear down the engine, they have to test the oil, they have to document specific contamination or specific negligence, a missing filter, the wrong viscosity, sludge buildup that proves the oil wasn't changed at all. If the engine just failed, that's their problem, not yours. Consumer Reports senior autos editor Keith Berry put it bluntly. You can have your car serviced anywhere. Jiffy Lube, an independent shop, even another dealership that's a different car brand than yours. The warranty stays valid. And if a dealership employee tells you otherwise, the FTC has a process for that. You file a complaint. The Federal Trade Commission has issued formal warnings to dealerships that repeatedly tell customers their warranty would be voided for outside service. Those warnings exist in the public record. But here's what they don't tell you when you sign the paperwork. Every service advisor in America has been trained to imply, never directly say, just imply that DIY service voids your warranty. Because the law lets them imply it. The law only stops them from enforcing it. The implication does the work. I want to give you the Ontario case now, because this is where the law becomes useful. A woman in Ontario had her engine fail at 67,000 miles. She'd done her own oil changes for the entire ownership of the car. Her dealer denied her warranty claim, said she couldn't prove she'd actually changed the oil. She thought she was out $3,400 for an engine replacement. I'll show you exactly what she did with one labeled bin in her garage in a few minutes. But first, you need to see the cost math. Here's the kicker. The dealer recommends an oil change every 5,000 miles. Your manufacturer recommends 7,500 to 10,000. That single difference doubles the number of services over your warranty period. Now, do the math. Over a typical 5-year, 75,000-mile new car warranty, the dealer pushes 15 oil changes at an average of $150 each, once you add the multi-point inspection and oil treatment upsells. That's $2,250. The DIY equivalent? 10 changes at the manufacturer's actual recommended interval. $35 each. That's $350. Difference? $1,900. That's $1,900 in your pocket over the warranty period alone. And we haven't even gotten to the prepaid plan yet. 50 years this law has existed. And the average car owner in 2026 still believes their dealer can void their warranty for doing what their grandfather did in his driveway every Saturday. That belief alone is worth billions to the service industry every single year. but Magnuson-Moss only covers what happens after something breaks. The real money, the locked-in money that comes from what dealers convince you to sign before anything breaks. And 9 out of 10 new car buyers walk out of the finance office having signed it. Before I show you what 9 out of 10 new car buyers sign and how that signature alone adds another $1,000 to the $4,200, I want to ask you something, and I want you to actually leave it in the comments, because I read every one. What's the most outrageous service, quote, your dealer or shop ever tried to upsell you on? Maybe it was the $1,800 fuel induction service they tried to add to your $45 oil change. Maybe it was the $600 premium cabin air filter replacement. Maybe it was the time they told you your brake fluid was burnt at 18,000 miles and quoted you $240. For a flush, drop the dealer name and the dollar amount below. The wildest story I see, I'll address in a future video. And if you're learning something here that no service advisor will ever tell you to your face, subscribe. Because next week, I'm doing the same federal law breakdown on transmission fluid lifetime fraud. There's a 2019 General Motors internal document that admits, in plain English, that automatic transmission fluid degrades significantly at 60,000 miles. Despite the lifetime label printed on every dealer service brochure across the country, you don't want to miss what's in that document. Now, everything I just showed you, federal law, the $1,900 in oil change markup, all of it is the upfront scam, the visible scam, the one you can see if you look at a receipt, the one that gets you a little angry when you do the math but doesn't really change your behavior. Because what are you going to do refuse the oil change? What's coming next is the locked-in scam, the one designed so that even after you watch this video, even after you know about Magnuson-Moss, even after you decide to start doing your own oil changes this weekend, you might still be paying because you signed for it. And you didn't know what you signed. Let me show you what's actually on the prepaid maintenance contract you signed in 11 seconds of distracted small talk with the finance manager. You probably remember it as the prepaid maintenance package, or the service plan, or whatever the F&I manager called it while pushing the iPad in your direction. The pitch sounds reasonable. Lock in your service costs for the next 5 to 7 years. Avoid future price hikes. Convenient single bill. Smart financial planning. The reality is different. Average prepaid maintenance plan cost at signing $1,500 to $2,400. Average actual service value over the contract period, $900 to $1,200. The markup is the product. Here's what they don't tell you in those 11 seconds at the finance desk. That prepaid plan is non-transferable. Sell your car at year 3. The remaining services don't go to the new owner. Move out of state, the plan only works at that specific dealer chain. Hit the mileage cap before the time cap, plan expires immediately. Hit the time cap before the mileage cap, plan expires immediately. And the services it covers? Oil changes priced at the dealer's full retail. The same $150 oil changes you'd refuse if you saw them as a line item, just bundled together so the markup is invisible. The Magnuson-Moss connection here matters. Even after you sign a prepaid plan, federal law still protects you from must service at this dealer warranty requirements outside the prepaid services. The plan doesn't override the law. It just makes you feel like it does. Over a 5-year plan, the average buyer overpays by $900 to $1,200 for services they could have done in their driveway. That's the second $1,000 of the $4,200. We're now at $2,900, and we still have a $1,000 myth and a $300 lease trap to cover. Once you've signed that prepaid plan, the dealer has 5 to 7 years of guaranteed access to your vehicle, which is when this next layer kicks in. The one most viewers have never even heard described as a scam. Layer 3, the lifetime fluid lie. You'll see the language on dealer service brochures, in owner's manuals from certain manufacturers, printed on the side of factory-sealed transmission pans, lifetime transmission fluid, lifetime coolant, sealed for the life of the vehicle. It sounds like a feature. It's a liability dodge. When a manufacturer labels a fluid lifetime, they accomplish 2 things. They reduce their warranty obligation. They don't have to recommend or pay for service intervals on fluid. They've declared maintenance-free. And they shift the cost of catastrophic failures past the warranty period directly onto you. Independent transmission testing tells a different story. Automatic transmission fluid degrades through normal heat cycles starting at around 60,000 miles. By 100,000 miles in moderate driving, that fluid has lost most of its friction modifier additives. Transmissions running on degraded fluid start failing between 80,000 and 120,000 miles. Transmissions that get a fluid service every 60,000 miles, they routinely cross 250,000 miles with the original transmission still in place. Same hardware, just clean fluid. Now, the math: one transmission failure, $3,500 to $6,000. One fluid change every 60,000 miles for the life of the car, $200 done in your driveway, or $400 at an independent shop. The third $1,000 of the $4,200 is the amortized risk of trusting the lifetime label. What they don't tell you when they label something lifetime is that lifetime just means the lifetime of the warranty period. After that, what happens to your transmission isn't their problem, it's yours. Running total $1,900 in oil change markup, plus $1,000 in prepaid plan margin, plus another $1,000 in lifetime fluid catastrophic failures. We're at $3,900. We're $300 short of the $4,200. I'll come back to that final $300 in a minute, but first I want to give you the Ontario resolution, because this is where everything connects. Remember the Ontario woman I mentioned? Engine failure at 67,000 miles. Dealer denied her warranty claim, said she couldn't prove she'd actually changed the oil. Here's what she actually did. She had photographs, every single oil change, dated, mileage on the dashboard visible in the shot. She had receipts from Walmart for the oil, receipts from AutoZone for the filter. The old filter boxes were saved in a labeled bin in her garage. Total time investment per oil change for documentation, 90 seconds. Total documentation cost, $0. She showed up at the dealer's service department with a printed folder, receipts in chronological order, photos time-stamped and matched to receipt dates, filter boxes labeled with the mileage at each change. The dealer's lawyer reviewed the folder, called the regional warranty rep. The warranty rep made one phone call. Her dealer paid for the engine replacement, $3,400. Because once the photographic evidence existed, the burden of proof under Magnuson-Moss shifted back to them, and they could not prove DIY caused the failure. They had to honor the warranty. One bin, 4 kinds of evidence, 90 seconds per oil change. That's what a 50-year-old federal law looks like in action. The documentation protocol, 4 steps. Memorize them. Step 1. Photograph the odometer at every oil change. Phone clock visible. Date stamp from your phone's metadata. 5 seconds. Step 2. Save the receipt. Staple it to the filter box. Store the labeled filter box in a dedicated bin in your garage. Step 3. Write down in one dedicated notebook the date, the mileage, the oil brand, the oil viscosity, the filter brand, and the quantity of oil added. 1 line per oil change. Step 4. Photograph the engine bay before and after the oil change. Proof of work completed. 90 seconds total per oil change. Less time than it takes the dealer to write up your invoice. And it turns Magnuson-Moss from a law you read about into a law that pays you back. I want to be clear about one thing. None of this protects you if you actually do the oil change wrong. If you forget to install the oil filter, and I've seen it, that's on you, not the dealer. If you strip the drain plug on an aluminum pan, that's a $400 to $800 repair you'll pay for. If you put 5W20 oil in an engine that calls for 0W40 and the engine seizes, the dealer will prove it. And they'll be right. Magnuson-Moss protects competent DIY. It doesn't protect carelessness. Before your first attempt, watch a model-specific video. Use a torque wrench on the drain plug. Don't reuse the crush washer. Match the oil viscosity to your owner's manual exactly. Hand tighten the filter, plus 3/4 of a turn. Do it right, document it, the law does the rest. So that's $3,900 of the $4,200 accounted for. What's the last $300? It's the one most lease customers never see coming until the last day they have the car. Here's the part that should make you angriest. Because it's not just about new cars. It's not just about warranty, period. It applies to anyone with an extended warranty and anyone who's leasing. When you return a leased vehicle, the dealer inspects two things: wear beyond normal use and service history. No documented service history? Most lease contracts include a deferred maintenance fee clause buried in the terms, often $250 to $500. Some lease chains charge per missed scheduled service. Mercedes-Benz Financial, BMW Financial Services, Audi Financial. They all have versions of this language. The customer signed for it, they didn't read it. There's a BMW lease customer who did his own oil changes for 3 years on a 5 Series, saved roughly $1,400 over the lease, returned the car, got hit with a $520 deferred maintenance fee at lease end. Net savings, $880. Still positive, but $520 less than it should have been because he had no documentation. That's the final piece. Averaged across lease terms and lease companies, that's the $300 that completes the $4,200. The same 4-step documentation protocol that kills warranty denials kills end-of-lease fees the exact same way. Same receipts, same labeled bin, same notebook. Different problem solved. Let me give you the complete protocol one more time. Because if you walk away from this video remembering nothing else, this is what matters. Read your specific vehicle's manual. Know your actual oil change interval. Know your oil viscosity. Know your filter part number. $50 in tools. One time. Drain pan, jack and jack stands or ramps, basic socket set, oil filter wrench, torque wrench, funnel. $35 in oil and filter every 7,500 to 10,000 miles. Buy the oil on sale. Costco runs synthetic oil promotions twice a year. Stock up. 90 seconds of documentation, every change. Photo, receipt, notebook entry. Engine bay shot. $20. OBD reset tool. If you drive a European vehicle with sealed service systems. One-time purchase. Pays for itself in 2 changes. Photograph everything. Save everything. Store it in a dedicated bin in your garage. That's the protocol. Free, repeatable, bulletproof under federal law. Now, the final math. $1,900 in oil change markup, plus $1,000 in prepaid plan margin, plus $1,000 in lifetime fluid catastrophic risk, plus $300 in end-of-lease deferred maintenance fees. Total, $4,200. That's the number from the title. That's where every dollar of it comes from. And every single dollar is preventable with knowledge that's free. Tools that cost $50 once and 90 seconds per oil change. Think about a single mom in Cleveland working 2 jobs, driving a 2019 Equinox she's still paying on. She's looking at a $4,200 lifetime overcharge because nobody told her about a 50-year-old federal law. That money is her kid's braces, her emergency fund, the brake job she'll need 2 years from now when the pads finally wear through. The industry doesn't see her. The industry sees the receipt total, the dealership's monthly service revenue target, the F&I manager's commission on the prepaid plan. And that's what makes this not a billing issue. That's what makes it a moral one. Every dealer service advisor in America knows about Magnuson-Moss. Every F&I manager knows what's in the prepaid contract. Every manufacturer knows what lifetime fluid actually means. They count on you not knowing. They've been counting on it for 50 years. Here's what I want you to do this week. 3 things. This week. Action 1. Open your owner's manual or pull the PDF from the manufacturer's website. Find your actual recommended oil change interval. Not what the dealer told you, not what Jiffy Lube's window sticker says. The manufacturer's actual recommendation. If you're driving a 2018 or newer with synthetic oil, there's a 70% chance it's 7,500 miles or longer. Not 3,000, not 5,000. The 3,000-mile rule died in the 1990s. The dealer just hopes you don't know that. If you want the complete breakdown on exactly how often you should be changing your oil based on your driving conditions, your oil type, and your model year, I made a full video on that. It's linked at the end of this one. Watch it next. Action 2. If you bought your car in the last 5 years, dig out the F&I paperwork from the glove box or your filing cabinet. Find the prepaid maintenance plan. Read what it actually covers. Count the services. Do the math. If the dealer charged you $1,800 for what would have been $900 of pay per service, you're not getting that back. But at least you'll know not to renew it. Action 3. Your next oil change, whether you do it yourself or take it to Walmart for $35. Photograph the odometer. Save the receipt. Write it down. Start the paper trail. Magnuson-Moss only works if you have the paper. This isn't just about oil. This is the pattern. The same playbook applies to transmission fluid, coolant, brake fluid, differential service. Anywhere there's a fluid in your car, there's a manufacturer who labeled it lifetime to avoid warranty obligations, and a dealer who charges premium prices when it finally fails. Once you see the pattern in one place, you start seeing it everywhere. Drop the most outrageous service quote you've ever been given in the comments. Dealer name and dollar amount, the wildest one I'll address in a future video. And before you click away, watch the oil change interval breakdown linked right here. Because knowing the law only matters if you also know how often you're supposed to be using it. The 3,000-mile myth is costing American drivers billions every year. I show you exactly what your manufacturer actually recommends and why most owners are doubling their oil change spend for no reason. You're not stuck paying $4,200. You never were. You just didn't know the rules of a game that was rigged in your favor by a federal law nobody told you about. Now you know. Now you act. Every script, edit, and voiceover on this channel is crafted with real human expertise, not mass-produced content. If this helped you, subscribe for more.